That sucks. You doing decide.
What I'm really wondering is how come you ring a bell and a summons monster for 30 seconds? Or a minute, rather.
I don't know.
I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
Colin, there are many things in many games that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, invincibility items also help a lot, but I am going to show that you can beat this guy without using invincibility items.
You're playing on hard mode. Self-imposed hard mode.
Yeah, kind of like that. Now, I'm not banning invincibility, I'm just banning invincibility that I control when it happens.
So like if Angelo becomes and uses Invincible Moon, or whatever it was called.
Well, yes, because I can't stop that. And I'm not going to stop using limit breaks for Rinoa. Because there's another one that she has that just deals a crap ton of damage, which you need to be able to do.
You have to save up all your items for the easier boss fight.
No, I don't use invincibility items in that one either.
I was more referring to like how every single person who plays every single JRPG ever always saves every single item for later, but they never wind up using them.
Well, you notice I just had Rinoa use an X potion there.
It's kind of a safety thing that the reason they do that, because it's like, I don't know how the game's going to screw me over, I'm going to be prepared for this.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of funny, because like, you know, at least in my experience, I've taken lots of risks in order to avoid using items, just in case. And then by the end of the game, I beat the final bosses. Like, I have all these huge, like, max potions or whatever that I have no idea what to do with.
Anyway, whenever he uses Meteor, that means he's going to use Megiddo Flame next. So that's your signal to get everyone up to full hit points.
Good girl, Angelo.
Whose gender we had wrong until just now.
Good dog.
Just imagine it like JRPGs as being that one strange person everyone knows that's like, hi, how you doing? And you're like, I'm onto you!
I know your plans. I know what you're planning on doing.
And when it uses Gravia, then it's going to use Terra Break next. This is when you want to use Defend. Squall, unfortunately, doesn't have Defend, so he's just gonna have to take it up the ass.
He's gonna be our sacrifice.
But guess what, guys? Terra Break counts as a physical attack. So look what it does this time. Rinoa and Quistis laugh at the most powerful attack in the game.
Wow. Squall
Squall is
thinks.
so QQ on the floor.
And Rinoa's like, yeah, you're not going to try to pull that on us again.
Would that work? Would that mean Squall's invisible when he gets back up, or
No.
is it like, no? Oh, okay.
Okay, so I figured out, like, if someone's invincible... Oh, look at this. This is Quistis' best limit break, Shockwave Pulsar.
Oh, man. Here we go.
And you may be thinking, but no enemy actually uses this. To which my response is, just wait.
Did that just do 11,000 damage?
Yes, it did.
Yes!
That is one of only two things in the game that can break the damage limit. The other is Eden.
Nice.
Anyway, so when someone's invincible, you can restore their hit points, but you cannot put any status effect on them, even positive ones.
Dog.
So, like I've said, most people like to use Squall, Rinoa, and Zell for these last battles, but since I don't use the dual ability very well, I prefer Quistis instead of Zell. And this is why. Yes, exactly. Even that, though, is about 1% of Omega Weapon's hit points. So I'm gonna have...
Is this that, firing blades?
Yes, that's the thing that Ultima Weapon does, except Rinoa was invincible. So it did not think. Like the goggles.
If you wind up hearing like singing in the background, that's Nintendo singing in the shower. So
Okie doke.
Wait, so she can disrupt our LP, but she won't appear in it. Or...
pretty much. She's got better things to do, like sleeping.
Well, you can tell her that instead of a 2 hour and 45-minute session, she could just do a 1 hour and 23-minute session.
I already asked her when I had it muted. I was like, hey, join in on this thing.
Did that just completely miss?
I think it did. This one is not going to miss him, unfortunately. It's going to hit... oh, it's not going to hit Quistis. And Rinoa is going to survive it.
But Squall, he gets it up the arse.
Exactly. Squall is taking a lot more abuse than the other characters in this battle. Why did I use Revive on Quistis? Oh, no, you know what? I assumed that her invincibility would be gone by that point. But it wasn't. That's why I used Revive.
Squall was just like, what's a block? Someone tell me.
What the what?
What's a block? Someone tell me.
What's a block?
Block it, you blocking.
Yes.
I said what?
In the butt?
No, what are you talking about? Never mind about the gutter.
No. I think I meant the gutter, thank you very much.
I like my mind in the gutter, though I'd prefer my body not to be there.
Yes.
Yeah, so the defend command stays in effect until you select another command.
Don't die this time, Squall.
Squall is going to die every time this thing uses Terra Break. Unless he's invincible.
How come he's the only one that dies? I haven't
Because
really been
he
paying
doesn't
attention.
have the defend command. I only had 2 GFs that had the defend command.
That's what I was making the point. Yeah. Can't do it.
Am I gonna have anyone to revive Rinoa here? Okay, Quistis is doing it. Now what I'm really trying to do, but Omega Weapon keeps interrupting me, is set it up so that Squall will use limit breaks against him and have a chance to get Lionheart.
You know, Omega Weapon is so inconsiderate. You're trying to kill it.
Well, now it's gonna kill one of us.
It does have a face on its front.
Yes, it has a face on its... well, I'm not sure if that's its crotch. I mean, its tail is not in that area, but...
That's not a tail.
okay, fine, Colin. It has a really big penis. Have it
That's
your
not what
way.
I was saying. Once again, your mind is in the gutter. You're attributing things to me when
Whatever it is, it has the voice of my toe.
Xenav 14 voiced the Omega Pirate in Metroid Prime as like a chipmunk.
Oh my god. That's actually perfect.
So Rinoa somehow survived that. I'm not sure.
Someone needs to do that now. There just needs to be some villain who has like the deepest voice you ever heard, and he's got a minion that's like,
I'm gonna kill you now, kid.
Well, have you, any of you guys seen the movie Up?
Yeah, but they do in Up.
In Up, they have like the dogs that the villain owns all have this all have these like voice things.
Yeah.
And the one, like, the leader of the dogs, his voice module thingy is screwed up, so he speaks in a chipmunk voice. Wait, why did I just skipped the chance on a limit break. Why did I do that?
Silly thinker.
He wasn't thinking at that moment.
Thinker wasn't thinking.
Alright, well, this will give me a good chance to do some damage.
What's that thing here that doesn't think?
I think this is me. We have him right here.
Unfortunately, no one was under Aura status, and I can't put Aura status on anyone now. I also can't put triple status on anyone.
Oopsie.
Well, alright, so I'm just going to attack him for a while, and all of his really powerful attacks aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, I was about to say, I like how even though everything else passes through you, you can still be knocked into the air.
I don't know why I'm trying to use Aura. Maybe I'm just like, alright, I don't think this is going to work, but just in case. By the way, Rinoa is coming out of invincibility sooner than the other... What? Colin, I think like everyone else got off that line already, but anyway, Colin, I don't even know what you're saying, but I know that you should shut up. Are people still there? Hello? I hope this call didn't just get stopped. Anyway, I'm just attacking this thing. I know there's something else important I wanted to say. Oh yeah, if you have GFs, then don't use them unless you're invincible, because this thing will target GFs. And, like, kill them very quickly. Alright, I'm gonna pause this because the call has been stopped. Alright, after an internet derp, we are back.
Yay!
You know, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but internet derps are not one.
Anyway. So, Rinoa, because she has higher speed than everyone else, comes out of invincibility slightly before everyone else.
That's lame.
Yeah, it is. So Squall's about...
It doesn't work when you're invincible, does it?
It doesn't have any effect, but you can still do it. Which is handy if you're just about to come out of being invincible.
You know, I just noticed something about the face on his crotch. And when he uses Terra Break...
Squall survived. He survived Terra Break. He got hit once. And I had Rinoa use Revive. I put in that command preemptively because I just assumed he was going to get killed. It's like, Quistis is like, no, we're going to use the command that we use when he doesn't die. Alright, let's see if I can finally get some decent damage in now. Because right now, we've basically just been poking him a bunch of times.
Pokey.
Exactly.
You know, this game would be a lot easier if all the numbers were made in base 12.
How would that make it easier?
Because then you'd have much more HP.
You mean... Well, I don't see any A's or B's in there, so...
Okay, now it's breaking up again.
Apparently breaking up isn't hard to do. Anyone else having problems?
Hello?
Yeah, you're still there.
Hello?
You're still there.
It was okay for a second there, but it's okay now.
I hope this doesn't keep happening throughout the entire session.
It probably will.
I hope not.
We're over halfway, so we've got footage at least. I mean, if the rest is over.
Alright, so I did what I wanted to do this time. I got Squall in under Aura status before he turned invincible. And note that even if I don't get a finishing move, just the Renzo Kuken itself is doing almost 50,000 damage.
Actually, if it was in base 12, all the other numbers would be shifted up as well, probably.
Yeah. They would.
Because I'm making this assumption on that, like it wouldn't be 9999 in base 12, it would be, 12, 12, 12, 12, or technically 11, 11, 11, 11.
It would not say a bunch of 11. That's not how it works.
It would be bees.
What,
Yeah, it would be a bunch of
yeah.
bees.
Well, I was actually thinking of there's actually a backwards 3 is what it would actually be in base 12 is what a lot of people, like a B would be in hexadecimal, where it goes up to like F or whatever.
So in this battle, which is done in base 10, I'm now actually doing pretty significant damage with Squall.
Base 12 is the one true number system. Because 12 is really easy to divide into everything.
Colin, you're done. Oh, shit.
And unfortunately, he keeps getting crappy finishing moves, by which I mean anything other than Lionheart.
Do you ever use the Lionheart in this session?
Well, you're just gonna have to wait.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Unfortunately, Rinoa and Quistis aren't doing limit breaks because they weren't under our status.
They tried.
It's like, I could have had Squall use triple and then aura, but I guess I just wanted to be certain that he got the aura.
I got the aura.
So you're basically trying to go for like more definite confirmed hits than risky ones.
More what?
You're trying to go for like safer moves that you know are going to do damage rather than ones that have like chances to fail, maybe?
No, it's not that they have chances to fail. It's more that I'm prioritizing things that will keep us alive over things that will do lots of damage.
Okay, just playing safe in general.
Yes.
Playing the HP stock market.
It is
Making
possible.
safer investments.
If you are, like, really good, you can do this battle in maybe 10 minutes or less.
Sorry.
What? Are you there?
I do believe we just lost a commentator.
Oh no!
How many...
No, I muted.
Alright.
Kendall came in, like, naked.
I'm not naked! Oh my god!
Quiche, why don't you join us? We only have, like, an hour left.
Kendall, come on!
I disliked you!
You don't dislike me, Kendall.
Yeesh, come on!
Dislike it because they're a giant.
Oh my god! The dog's pile drive it! Yeah!
No one will judge you.
Quiche, we only have, like, an hour and 10 minutes left. We're really close to the final boss fight.
Plus.
I would comment on a book I'm reading right now, but I don't want to say that while we're recording.
What is it?
I'll tell you afterwards.
Say it.
Okay.
Say it.
Flowers in the Attic.
Nice. Never read it. Sounds
Never
good.
heard of it.
Well, after the recording, I will explain why I was thinking of it.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and Squall is going to die again.
Isn't that kind of what he's useful for? That's kind of what he does. That's his thing. It's his shtick.
Well, that wasn't the one where he, like, can't avoid death. If he'd had full hit points, he would have survived that.
His big gimmick is that he dies a lot. That's what he's useful for. I mean, that's the entire purpose of his character. It's all been leading up to this. A boss battle with a mega weapon where he just constantly dies over and... You know, what exactly is even the point of having him in here?
The point is, it's a really hard boss. Can you beat him?
No, not the boss. I'm asking, why do you even have Squall in your party?
Because of Lionheart.
Is he the one that is doing most of the damage, or...? Yeah.
He's the one that's supposed to be doing most of the damage.
Yeah, but I mean, he's like dead most of the time. Why don't you just leave him dead?
Because he has a limit break that can do upwards of 200,000 damage.
thought you were playing it safe, though.
Well, just
Isn't it like playing it safer though to try and keep everyone alive? Because he's like, it's in a way like having 3 strikes. It's like you've got one of your strikes down all the time.
well, yes, I'm basically chipping away at him while I'm chipping away at him and trying to get in the bigger hits, but
How long has this boss battle been going?
I told you it lasted a half an hour. I told you that already.
Wow, this is...
Wasn't you listening, Colin?
No.
Okay, well, Rinoa doesn't have the Aura status, but she might as well because she has 1 hit point. So this is good.
Wait, what exactly is good about having 1 hit point?
Very high crisis level, lots of limit breaks.
Man, I don't think I'd have the patience to sit through this boss fight. Like, you know the, are you familiar with, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga?
Nope. Okay, this is one of the things I wanted. Watch carefully.
Did she riding Angelo?
No.
Alright, I can see.
She just broke reality.
That did about 80,000 damage.
That's strong, one strong doggy.
Yes, it is.
So you've never played Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga?
No, I have not.
What about Paper Mario 2?
No, but I've played Super Paper Mario.
Well, in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, you can potentially, like, avoid every single attack, and so you could never get hit in the entire game. And so I decided, hey, that means I could technically beat the game on the lowest possible level. And so I started to try playing it with kind of some basic rules of I'm not allowed to go into any random battles. The only experience I can get is from mandatory battles and boss fights. And if I do encounter a battle, I either have to reset the game or run, in which when I run, I don't get any experience, but I lose coins, in which since I can't farm for coins, coins are precious for getting good gear. And it lasted a little while, but holy cow, was it just made every single battle literally last, like, I think the first boss, I literally spent an hour and a half fighting it.
By the way, there's a boss in Final Fantasy XII that, like, a speed run of it takes an hour.
Wow.
And a more usual run of it takes more like 5 hours.
Final Fantasy XII is the real-time one, though, right?
Yes. So I did get in a couple of decent hits with Wishing Star.
Yeah, you did.
And also, like, I don't think it'll actually tell you the thing's HP if you use scan on it, but I'm pretty sure I've done several 100,000 points of damage by this time.
Yes.
I think it's pretty much a trope in RPGs now, though, that like the hardest fights aren't necessarily because of the damage they do; it's because of like how long it takes to kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, although this one does plenty of damage.
This is kind of like... This is actually kind of something that I really... Like, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over and over again, right?
I mean, I'd
I'm
say,
doing the same thing that gives me some chance of getting a really big hit, and
Yeah, but in general, you're basically repeating the same several moves in the same order over and over with only slight variations for, like maybe healing if something goes wrong or whatever, right?
Well, it is an endurance battle. It is like, how long can you do this? Like, can you do this for long enough without screwing up that you can deplete all his hit points?
And here's the thing. This is exactly what Final Fantasy 13 like avoids. Because what Final Fantasy 13 does is it makes it so that these little strategies are automatically done. So instead it switches up the big battles so that instead of you just getting into this pattern where you just do the same thing over and over and over again, in order to keep you engaged, it has to actually, like, do variation, and I think that's kind of probably the most important thing that it did. And that's kind of a big problem with a lot of JRPGs is most of the big battles they wind up into the same, you do these certain attacks over and over and over.
Quistis does not change the selection of limit breaks. Quistis doesn't change the selection of limit breaks that she does as her crisis level gets higher. However, they do more damage. Hence, that did like 17,000 damage instead of 11,000. Sorry, what were you saying, Shinkosai?
I'm just saying, so you're saying you think like the big boss fights are just almost more like you develop a strategy to survive rather than maybe like demonstrating, I don't know, a different kind of skill maybe, or something.
Well, I mean, the thing is that it's really cheap. Like, from the perspective of the person making the boss fight, this is pretty easy. I mean, because essentially you have the boss that's doing the same thing over and over and over. There's no variation.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because I should have mentioned that Omega Weapon's attack pattern is set. It always does the same things in the same order.
But that's the sort of thing you see in a lot of, especially JRPG boss fights. Particularly JRPG, because those are generally turn-based, and turn-based are able to get away with it a little better, whereas non-turn-based tend to do a little bit more along the lines of AI, will be a little more reactive.
But I mean, in say the Metroid Prime games, it's sort of the same thing. It's can you last long enough without making any big screw-ups to remove all of the boss's hit points.
Yeah, and to see, the thing is that potentially, if you can write a short program that will do the same things over and over, and you can't mess up in them or whatever, then potentially you can just go through the entire battle, let it run, go to sleep, wake up the next day and have it good, you know? And the only times you have to really do any variation is when you actually mess up.
Colin, what I'm saying is that I think that type of boss is fun.
Really?
Yeah, I love the boss fights in the Metroid Prime series.
You mean like where, I'm talking about more like in JRPGs, where like this one, where it takes half an hour.
Well,
and you're just doing the same thing over and over.
For one thing, as I've mentioned, I'm being pretty careful. You could, you know, be a little more aggressive and have it take not as much time. But I just don't want to get killed again.
Never mind, that's not really... What I was addressing was more of the...
You just feel like they cannot do as much as they could do on a boss, like giving it more variety.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it would have been nice if the boss had changed its strategy when his hit points got low or something. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, not even just that. But the thing is that even then you still have the same sort of thing. It's just that you have a two-part strategy, one for before itself gets low and one after. What I'm more saying is that basically I don't like boss fights in which you can just do the same thing over and over and over, and that's something that
Like adapt as you adapt, sort of thing.
Sort of. I guess what I was more actually addressing was one of the big... I keep mentioning Final Fantasy 13, but the thing about it is that it does a lot of interesting things.
Now, if I'd been smart here, I would have selected Renzo Kuken after Squall was down to 1 hit point.
I can't say that Final Fantasy 13 succeeded in everything, but it certainly did a lot of very interesting...
Although it turned out not to matter, because he got his best finisher anyway. Yeah, so, including the Renzo Kuken that came before Lionheart, this is going to be about 200,000 damage. That is significant, even for this guy. And it gets hurt again as it falls down. Okay, now this is a really good position. Because now I have everyone at 1 hit point and invincible.
Nice. how in the world does Angelo, like, command the power of the moon? Is he, like, Sailor Moon?
No, he's a dog.
Remember,
Yes,
dogs are
yeah.
domesticated wolves, and wolves howl at the moon.
Yes.
Why did I do that?
That still doesn't make any sense, though.
Why did I just lower Quistis' crisis level like that? I don't know why I did that.
I don't know.
Well,
Doesn't the invincible moon thing happen randomly?
yeah, it does.
So maybe you weren't expecting it to happen just then.
Maybe.
And it put the command. It looked like you put the command in before invincible moon even happened.
Yeah.
You know, that is something that I do like in games, is when basically you're sort of
Killed
gambling.
it,
Like,
it.
Kaboom!
Hooray!
wow. That feels like it
Victory.
took a lot longer than it actually did.
Alright, that is the toughest battle in the game done.
Yay!
Thank goodness it's finally done.
Oh, hush, Cloudlid.
I'm sorry, but that's a half-hour boss fight of just seeing the same stuff over and over.
Well, I'm not gonna edit, you know, I'm not gonna cut stuff from
Oh, no,
a
I'm
major
not saying
boss
that
fight
you,
like that.
No, I honestly, I commend you for doing that. I would
Thank
not
you.
have the patience to do it. I mean, you deserve mad props, bro.
Thanks.
But
Now, I did not use the best. I used a pretty good setup, but I don't think I used the best setup possible. I could have had, like, ideally you want characters with more speed than mine did. Because, like, one strategy is just to hit him so quickly that he doesn't have much time to do anything. Another thing is, for some reason, zombie reduces, like, if your characters are under zombie status, that reduces the damage that Terror Break does, to the point where you can
Why?
survive it. I have no idea why, but I've seen it in a video.
How odd.
that's really weird. Well, now that you beat the hardest boss in the game, now we'll defeat the thing that's supposed to actually, like, be compressing time into a single spot.
Oh, by the way, I'm saying this really late, but the GF that you can get from Tiamat, the last, like, seal-holding boss, is Eden. So this is something you can get if you've beaten Omega Weapon. This is basically just your "a winner is you" message.
Hooray!
I like that proof of Omega, like it's some sort of proof of purchase. If you send in your Omega barcode, then you can get like a free hat or something.
Excuse me, we beat Omega. We got a will.